What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode here at Online Academy by Capital Presence. I'm going to go over Microsoft Ignite 2021, which was last week, and they released a good bit of tools, a lot of more rebranding that we're starting to see out of Microsoft 365. Um, they released something called Microsoft Loop, which, if you've been paying attention to Microsoft over the past, I don't know, 5 years, 10 years plus, it's really just kind of a rebrand. But there are some cool things that they've released. OpenAI seems pretty cool. Metaverse, of course, got brought up. So how can we go a single conference without bringing up Metaverse? But I'll go into all of these new releases or rebrands, however you want to call them, over the next couple minutes. So stick with me, and I will see you on the other side. All right, so Microsoft Ignite. So first, we're going to start with Microsoft Loop, because really Microsoft Loop kind of seems like the actual tool that is probably going to end up getting the most play out of this. I know that there is a metaverse aspect to this whole thing, and everyone's talking about metaverse these days. You had an entire company who now wants to be called Meta over it, right? But metaverse is I think the biggest play that Microsoft's going to have out of this is the augmented reality, which I'll get into. But first off, I want to get into Loop, and so, well, my first one says metaverse, so let's just get into metaverse then, and we'll get into Loop as we go. So the Metaverse Solutions, and so for those of you who don't know what the metaverse is, it's going to be an immersive experience of virtual reality where you can, NFTs are they've talked about are going to play into this in a way where you can dress your avatars and you can have art in a little home. Think of like The Sims, right? But it's you immersed into the experience. Cool? I don't know if it's cool or not, but they did announce a couple different solutions that they're going to have available into the metaverse. So one is obviously Microsoft Teams, which I can't see people actually using this. Maybe as the software and the technology starts to advance, and maybe people will start to actually use it. But I've seen that people have a hard enough time turning their cameras on, let alone turning themselves into an avatar. I think this is going to be a lot like how the iPhone came out with those emojis that could talk, and you could kind of like send like GIF emojis of you doing a video or something like that. It's going to be more of a party trick more than anything else, but Microsoft obviously has to dip their hands into the metaverse, because why wouldn't they? But within Microsoft Teams, that's the obvious one, because a lot of the talk around metaverse has been in terms of meeting experience. So Microsoft would be crazy not to involve Microsoft Teams in this. They also actually mentioned Dynamics 365 as well, which I can see. Dynamics 365 is your CRM, so you could be doing outbounds to clients and external communications outside of your organization as far as sales is concerned. And maybe it would be a cool party trick to bring somebody into the metaverse who you're trying to close. I don't know. Again, metaverse, I'm not really big on it right just yet. Obviously, they have a other couple different applications and solutions that they have announced are going to be part of it. Power Platform Logic is going to be there, of course, so you can build full apps and Canvas apps around this. HoloLens is obviously going to play a role, because that is the mixed reality tool for Microsoft. Microsoft Mesh is going to be a part as well, obviously. Obviously, within the intelligence portion of this, the Azure AI is kind of the guts of a lot of this. So that'll be there as well. But and IoT and digital twins. So there are a few solutions that were kind of already on the verge of metaverse, and Microsoft is basically just saying, hey, yeah, these can do this. So here's our rollout of our solutions. Again, I'm not big on the metaverse. I don't think it's really going to be all that cool. But it is what it is. Microsoft had to jump in. They had to become a part of it. There is a few things that they did release and they did kind of hint at and showcase, which is more on the side of augmented reality, which I think is a much more realistic play in terms of how and what the metaverse could look like in the future. There's a picture of a person, and she stands in front of a car, and she kind of goes like this, and the parts of the car kind of fly up in front of her, and she's kind of pointing and playing. I think that's more realistic in terms of where the metaverse metaverse will go long term. It will be more of an augmented reality more so than an immersive experience, virtual reality. I think people are kind of afraid of the whole virtual reality aspect of things. Also, I don't think it's really that cool to immerse yourself and turn yourself into a cartoon character. That's just me. I'm sure there's a lot of people that are going to hit me in the comments and the DMs and call me crazy for that. But I think that if you can show a business augmented reality where I can go like this and the parts of the computer kind of show up and I can take a look at what's wrong and what's breaking, sign me up because that is a lot cooler to me in my train of thought, right? So next up, we are going to get into Microsoft Arc. Microsoft Arc is, I think, the what's going to become like the biggest um, next step in cloud computing, which actually is a bit of a step backwards. So Microsoft Arc allows you for deeper support for VMware vSphere. It allows you to have new integrations for the Azure Stack HCI and then Arc enabled data service enhancements. Basically, what Microsoft Arc is, it's a nod to the future of business hosting and computing in a sense that the cloud can connect to all of these different areas and give you advanced support. But it's also a point to the past to say that, hey, servers that are your own still matter. And we know that, and we believe that that might actually play a much larger sense, right? You saw Microsoft and some of the other cloud computing agencies say, we're going full cloud, but servers are always going to exist. And as we push deeper into the cloud, then your cloud computing prices probably might go up if that's your only option. And then on premise storage might actually become cheaper. Whereas right now, on prem storage is super expensive. You might see that dip as supply comes about, right? We might see a time when buying servers for yourself might actually become cheaper. And Microsoft is getting ahead of that with Microsoft Arc, which I think is very smart. So it'll unify on-premise, hybrid, and multi-cloud infrastructure. So you've seen a lot of commercials, right? Should I stay or should I go to the cloud? And then why not do both? This is Microsoft's version of both. You can go both do on-prem and you can both do cloud, and you can manage it through this tool to support your simplified management, faster app development, consistent services, organize, govern, get all the benefits of Microsoft Azure in the cloud and everything like that, but host your own environment as well, which I think is very cool. I think it's awesome. I do think that on premise is going to become a bigger player as we get deeper into the cloud computing. I do think that eventually businesses are going to start having their own server rooms again. I do think that that's going to be part of it. We're going to have your mission critical business internal applications hosted on-premise servers, and then you're going to see your public facing applications hosted in the cloud because that's where you're going to see real bursts, and then you're going to see your backups of your mission critical applications backed up to the cloud so that you don't host it all on one server, and so you can maintain a small server room of your own on premise. I do think that is the future. I do think that hybrid is the way to go. I don't think we're going to be full cloud for very long. The other applications that were talked about were Azure OpenAI, and I won't get too deep into Azure OpenAI as it's exactly what you think it might be. It's an open artificial intelligence. It's basically building up on what artificial intelligence plan and vision has already been. They want to make it more readily available. They want to bring those integrations across their entire platform. You saw that with Viva, where they released it in February, where they Viva. If you don't know what Microsoft Viva is, I did a video on it last week actually about Microsoft Viva, but you're going to see a lot more artificial intelligence throughout your entire organization. And if you're on 365, you're going to see it in Teams, you're going to see it in Dynamics, you're going to see it in your Canva apps, you're going to see it everywhere. You're already starting to see it within Viva. So it's going to help boost employee focus time, and everything's going to become digital analytics these days, which leads me to the last bit of this, which is Microsoft Loop. So Microsoft Loop is, to me, it's an old application. Um, this new tool that they call it's largely a rebrand of the company's Fluid Framework. Um, through which you can add collaborative items to documents, projects, images, graphs, tables, tasks, and other live content into Microsoft 365 apps like you know OneNote and Outlook and Teams, Dynamics, so on and so forth. Right, this has been around for a while, and this is kind of Microsoft's again is they've had these tools out there in multiple different environments, and now they're starting to bring them into their real UX UI, which they have doubled down, tripled down, whatever you want, quadruple down onto Microsoft Teams. Everything is going to run through Microsoft Teams. Power Apps is going to run through Teams. SharePoint's going to run through Teams. Basically anything that your business has to do, it's all going to be into this one platform. And Microsoft Loop is kind of the double down on that, right? So this will be able to bring teams together across applications. And you'll be able to integrate these functionalities that already existed. Like some of the stuff was already in SharePoint before, these interactive polls, pages, these enhanced chat options. You can share reports a lot easier, bringing out the analytics. Basically, Microsoft is starting to to brand and market some of the capabilities that were hidden in a lot of their other applications, bring them to the forefront, uh, put them into Teams, and say, look, a new product. So that's Microsoft Loop. It's actually really cool though when you see a demo of it. Maybe I'll do a reaction video to some of their videos that they start to release. They gave a small demo about it, and to be honest, it looks a lot like Microsoft Teams, but there is just a little bit more pages to it. So you're starting to see some of the pages that lived in SharePoint come into Microsoft Teams. You're starting to see some of the polls and some of these things that SharePoint could always do, and that you had these SharePoint developers that could say, hey, SharePoint could do anything kind of a thing, right? Well, we're taking that design aspect out, turning it into an app, and pushing it into Microsoft Teams more and more. I feel like every time Microsoft stands on stage and talks about this new capability, the SharePoint designers and developers out there stand up and go, we've been doing this. This isn't new. So, um, it is cool. Microsoft Loop. Like I said, I'll do a reaction video to it. It is going to bring a lot of your environments more closely together. It's going to push further collaboration into Microsoft Teams, and then be able to export projects and some of the things that you're working on out into Outlook for an expanded um, integration of all the tools. So basically, it's taking all the areas, putting it into Microsoft Teams. But that is your Microsoft update for Ignite. You'll probably hear a lot of play on the metaverse. You'll probably hear Azure Arc a lot more, which Azure Arc's sneaky. It's going to be one of those ones that is probably the biggest deal and will probably have the biggest impact out of everything that was released, but will be one of those things that we hear about just simply because it's not as sexy as Loop or Metaverse right now. But for your business, it's probably what makes the biggest impact. So, guys, thanks again for hanging out. Hopefully, you guys got a lot out of this. I know it's hard to fit Microsoft Ignite into 12 minutes, but I did the best I could. I'm wearing my throwback. This is the Capitol President's throwback because I did it on purpose, because a lot of these features that were released at Ignite were throwbacks themselves. They're essentially just repackaging, saying, "Hey, we did a lot of cool stuff. We got a lot of stuff here. What if we just made it a little better and made it accessible to the cloud and to Microsoft Teams?" And that's kind of what we saw with Ignite 2021. So, guys, if you have any questions, hit them in the comments below. I will make sure that either myself or a member of my team answers them. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and until next time, guys. See you.